Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Product. Today, Miranda and I are trying to answer quite a few questions that are very common questions that pop up all over um, our feed. So here we are, episode 7, Q&A. And we're going to start off here with our first question. This one gets asked all the time. It's what point did you decide to start your business and why? Miranda, did you want to lead this off or?
Oh,
um,
I think it all started with our hobby, our passion of team roping. When we started traveling to all the team ropings, we were at the Oklahoma USTRC finals, and I think that's when we kind of were sitting back, like, what do all these people have in common? That because we're struggling, like we're paycheck to paycheck, or just struggling financially. So we
with an expensive hobby.
with an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
And I think what we realized was everybody owned their own business and seemed to have a pretty um, o- stress free open schedule. Like they were able to just go to team ropings and have their horses and practice. And it's like we just weren't getting
Right.
that. So I think that's when we decided I think we should
Right.
try to start our own business.
Well, before that, I think we've both been very entrepreneurial. Is that how you say that word?
Yes, I think so.
Entrepreneurial. I mean, think about the spur business. Think about all the other things we've always tried, and like you said, being at the team ropings, kind of looking at what other successful people are doing, and that was one thing that definitely we noticed in common. Guys had more time, more freedom. Usually, guys that had started a business for themselves, and we had always wanted to do it. I don't think we really took it that serious. It was always like we talked about it all the time, but it's like, okay, at what point we sat down. I remember the finals. I remember driving home from those finals. It's like we got to do something different.
A long drive.
It was a long drive. We got to do something different. We can't. We either need to quit doing this
Right.
because, or we figure out a way. And that's when we sat down and started coming up with a plan and budgeting, and we did kind of stop team roping even then. We would
Right.
still go
We
occasionally,
took a
but
break.
um,
Winter come
right,
and it's
we
tough.
because we were going to pay off debt. If we were going to do this,
Yep.
we needed to get out of debt. And I would say, to answer that question, that's why was because we wanted to work for ourselves, and what really sparked it off was
Doing our hobbies, our
right
passion.
looking at other people that we admired and what things did they do, and they all started a business for themselves, and we were gonna
That's
do it.
that's when we decided to
Yep.
start. Next
All right.
question.
Next question. Let's move on to the next question.
Any new products coming soon?
Any new products coming soon? Well, we are working on our own pellet hopper,
Yes.
and we do want to be in the offset smokers, reverse flow smokers, the stick burners. We have so much fun with that, um, especially when family comes over and you do like a big long cook throughout the
Mhm.
day. Um, but we do. There is some convenience in the pellet smokers. We enjoy the pellet smokers we've built ourselves. We currently are using pellet pro hoppers on our chambers. We are in the process right now. We're working with an engineering firm. We're kind of designing our own pellet hopper, and that's been just back and forth. Like, what are features we like? What are features we don't like? How can we prevent problems like this from happening?
Mhm.
A lot of patent searches going on right now because a lot of little things are under patent, and we're having to find those patents and get lawyers involved and just figure
Yep.
out what we can do, what we can't do. So
I would say that's our biggest
that is our biggest the thing
move.
right now that I would say I look forward coming here is going to be our pellet smokers,
Yeah.
along with our other products as well. But this is the one that's taking a lot of time to kind of develop.
One thing I know for sure is that you got a notebook full of ideas, and there's no shortage of coffee. So I think we'll be hitting on some of those ideas soon, hopefully this year.
Yeah. Well, one thing too that we do want to change is, and we've had this conversation so many times with so many different people. We've actually done the test to paint or not to paint the rocket stove, and we've had professionals involved on this that have painted them. We've painted them with high temp paint. We've painted them with high temp powder coat. We've Cerakoted them, and of all of those things, Cerakote is the one that didn't fail in terms of it coming off,
Yeah,
but it would
flaking.
fade so
It
bad
would
in
fade.
that one spot. I mean, it's the size of a softball. The one spot on each side of this thing where the failure occurs, and it's the same on all of those. So now we're looking at blast cabinets and looking into setting up a pre-seasoning line so that even just our carbon steel griddles and things that we make, we can actually pre-season them. So they're pre-seasoned, and so
Yeah.
yeah, that's something else that's kind of in the works right now.
And that
So
we kind of answered two questions there.
well,
Do we paint the rocket stove or not, and why don't we? So we answered that one there.
yeah, that is another question. I If you high temp paint it, high temp paint, you'll get about 10 to 12 uses. And what I mean by uses, like you use that thing for about an hour, maybe you're cooking something. You'll get about 10 or 12 uses. Usually around 8 or 9, you definitely start notice the fading, and then you'll start note, and then usually around 10 or 12 uses,
Starts cracking.
you'll get your first little chip to fall off,
Mm-hmm.
and powder coat's pretty much the same. And all right, moving on. What's the next question there, Miranda?
Um, have you considered using a water jet machine to cut your steel?
Um, yes, absolutely. Water jets are cool. I mean, who doesn't love a water jet table, because
Yeah.
you can cut so much more stuff
No
than
heat distortion.
than just metal. But they are slow, and on a production level, well, I'm just the material we're cutting. We
Yeah,
don't.
it's not necessary, and
It's not necessary.
the things we are cutting, it's for production of what we're building. Water jet is just not reasonable for that.
Right.
It's too slow.
I mean, I'm not saying I'll never have a water jet table,
Yeah, he'll get one.
but right now,
One day I'll be like, we could use a water jet for this, and I'll be over there like,
well,
They-
water jet
they
is
don't.
great for different materials, and even with metal, some really, I mean, stainless steel. You start cutting stainless steel. I mean, we cut it with the laser, but stainless steel distorts with heat, and there's there's a lot of applications where water jet definitely serves a place, but in our current situation, mainly because of the speeds that it cuts, it's not ideal.
yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question here. What else we got going on?
Jason, have you ever had to fire
Have I ever
anyone?
had to fire anyone?
I mean, that's part of being a business owner. I think at some point it happens.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's I hate having to do it. And most of the time when we have to fire someone, it's usually just not a fit with I don't we've never really had to fire
Our
anyone.
culture.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to talk about, but
It really is. Bad attitude, like if I was going to say bad attitudes are probably, I'll put it this way. If I had the best welder in the world in my shop and I was paying this man $100 an hour and he was creating the best work that it's like holy cow. But he was part of the team and he had a bad attitude, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't
Yeah.
fit.
you
And
can't
we would
have
have to
someone on the team that drags other people down. it's just every day the culture just everybody kind of doesn't want to work, doesn't want to be there. If somebody's maybe not stepping up and doing their work, it makes other people recognize like, oh, he's getting away with it. Well, then I'm going to do
Yeah,
it too. Sometimes, I mean, I think
just bad
bad
attitude
attitudes
in
just
general.
doesn't work.
One of the worst attitudes is like I'm better than everybody, and we've had that. Um, guys, I've hired guys with more experience in fabrication than me, and uh, have like I was looking at this as a great opportunity to bring other inputs into the shop, but they just had a terrible attitude of like I'm better than everybody here. Uh, I do whatever I want, and
It just doesn't work.
it just doesn't work. So that's a little tip too for anyone maybe trying to get into the field. Like your attitude matters, especially in a team environment. If you just work by yourself, that's one thing. But if you're dealing with customers, we have customers come to our shop every day, and a grumpy employee
Yeah.
is not anything anybody wants to be around.
All right. Another question we've gotten
Oh, here's one for
is
you, Miranda.
okay.
Who does the QuickBooks and the bookwork?
I have done it for many of the years. Probably should have done it earlier. Is hire people to do the bookkeeping. We had a bookkeeper this last year, but we just switched to a bigger firm this year. So um, I'm in there, but I
Well, you
definitely
did
need
it
it.
all from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm in the QuickBooks, but I'm kind of delegating that off to somebody else. But I'm
Yeah.
still in there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm watching.
So that was something, but we've
Ooh,
we've been able to. We were in the books right away,
yeah.
and
Um,
you were able to
learn a lot about it. I
learn
mean,
as you went.
QuickBooks isn't just transactions and
Right. We do payroll.
yeah,
Uh,
payrolls all I do payroll still. Um, everything's in there. Hiring employees, all the forms, the W4s, the I9s, all of that is done through QuickBooks. I still do the onboarding with all that. Um, but I'm starting to hand off some of the transactional categorizing, all those quarterly
yeah.
reports, all that good stuff that someone else can do for me.
Well, you let me know if whenever I write a check, whenever I call
I
you
let
and
you
say, "Hey,
know.
I just wrote a check."
Here's your budget, Jason. It's not much, so be creative.
Yeah.
Then he's
So
on Marketplace.
yeah. So Miranda would do all of the books before, and now we have hired out the last.
Yep, most of it is hired out.
Uh,
Jason, question. Since you interrupted me before, have what are you moving it for?
which question? Oh, that one. Oh.
Have you considered starting a consulting or business coaching business? I don't know. That's a random
Somebody
one.
brought that. That was a question.
Yeah, it's been mentioned. So I don't know. They're asking.
No, I'm not in that position. I don't feel like I have enough experience yet to offer a bit like to start a business like that. We're still learning this, and what I mean by we're still learning the business side of this stuff. And if guys wanted to talk about social media, like how to post, I offer insights on all of that stuff, things that have worked for us, and I do that. There are some things about business now, especially hiring employees and dealing with, developing the culture and understanding your why and all of that stuff I could help someone with. But yeah, that's not something I'm even really that interested in. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't think I enjoy talking to people. Um,
You're not a consultant. I
yeah,
think
I don't.
that'd be very hard for us to keep up with doing that and running our business right now is not ideal. Um Okay. This is one question we touched on before. How do you deal with the haters
How do you deal with the haters?
online on our
I
social platforms?
In the beginning, I used to respond to haters all the time, and even looking back to those videos, like especially on TikTok, I hate looking at them. Um, it definitely the reality is not everyone's gonna like you, and we understand that,
Yeah.
and they really want to let you know that they don't like you. Just the other day, I got a voicemail. It was a voicemail of someone cussing me out.
Yeah.
Just it's
Can't please everybody.
what I just stay on track. Our customers are first, and what there's really nothing.
We don't have room for that. They can always.
It does. I
Okay.
mean, it'll. It. I
It
mean,
will affect your day sometimes.
yeah, it'll make you feel bad. Like, golly, I can't believe he thinks that of me, or she thinks that of me, or um, dealing with the haters. That's just a different. It's something you just have to understand. That's gonna be there. Not everyone is gonna agree with you, and that's just the reality.
So what's up with Skippy? Does he even ever work anymore?
Oh, Skippy,
Yeah.
Skippy runs this thing.
Skippy is been missing a little bit.
Yeah,
He's been off in La La Land.
yeah, he sure has.
Next question.
Next question. What's our next question? When is the big move? So, if you don't know, we did buy a shop in Boscobel, Wisconsin. It's 21,000 square feet. We're hoping to be in this shop all fully moved. I'm thinking by August we'll be fully moved into the new shop.
Every time we talk, I feel like it gets a month and month later. But so it's August now. It was May and now it was June and now we skipped July entirely. So we're August.
I'm thinking
We
we'll
have-
be full
we hope
speed
to be
ahead.
soon. Yeah.
Full speed ahead in August.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna
that's-
obviously start moving equipment now. We're not because we can't shut down production, so we've got to really
We we will have to move
strategically move.
certain parts of the business at a time, probably.
Yeah, but that is the plan. We've got some equipment coming, so there's a lot of stuff happening with that.
Yeah, we're
And-
hoping we aren't shut down at all.
Yeah, that's the plan. Keep rolling. Keep with production.
Yeah. All right.
What's another question
Um,
here?
Do we wholesale or sell through dealers? Right now, we are not distributing or doing any wholesale. Mostly because we don't plan on even thinking about that until we figure out the seasoning of our rocket stuff. Trying to figure out how they have a shelf life where they're just not gonna rust. But it's something we're working on. I think it'll be once we're in the new building, it'll be something we think about and look into. But for now, we're gonna pass on wholesale. And another question we get is, where can I buy your products in person? So obviously, at our shop, you can come here and pick up a product. Usually, we like to know ahead of time to make sure we have it ready for you. And then your brother, Jeff, God, Jason, Jeff Chiasson has a little storefront in Abbeville, Louisiana.
Yep.
What's it called? Chiasson Outdoors and More.
Yep.
And he has a few rocket stoves and attachments there.
Yep. He
Okay.
has some products that we've sent down there. If anybody's down there, but we have no other distribution except we ship them to you, or you can pick them up at the shop.
Yep.
Next question. How many people work at Chiasson Smoke? What is there? 18 of us?
Yeah.
It's 18?
Between like part-time and full-time, yes.
Who's part-time?
Jaden,
Jaden?
Sam.
Jaden and Sam are part-time. Yep. Yep. So there's 18 of us that work here. And that's building a team. That was definitely
Yeah.
that's learning right there. I mean, that's part of the
We're
business.
still learning,
Yeah,
always learning.
That's it's not, just
Realizing we need more systems in place, certain things coming up, that we're like, wait, I guess we never did teach somebody how to do that yet, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, that looks like it pretty much wraps up all the questions.
yeah.
I mean, common questions, but there is a teaser to this. I mean, what's one of the most common questions, Miranda, that we get all the time?
Oh.
Come on, everyone asks. It's always they want to know what's the age difference.
Miranda,
between-
is Jason your grandpa?
Right, because everyone calls you my daughter.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them the ages? I'm
Yep, and I'm
and Miranda's. So there you go.
there you go.
Miranda's older than me. I call her mama.
I still call him daddy. All right.
Well, there it is. Episode 7, Q&A, guys. Quick little episode. Common questions that people ask. If you have more questions, make sure to throw them in the comment section. We'll try to answer questions every episode. I think our next episode, Abby Imler is going to be with us, our first ever welder that we hired. And we're just going to let her, she's going to tell her story and just kind of how it all fell into place. But episode 7 is a wrap. We'll see you guys on the next one, episode 8, with Abby Imler.
Yes, sir.
So make sure you check us out, ChiassonSmoke.com.